Hello, celebrity gossip enthusiasts. I'm Us Weekly's entertainment director, Travis Cronin, and you're tuned into Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast, the show where we break down all of the hottest celebrity stories of the week so you know what's going on. They say, is this person dating that person? You're like, I totally know because Travis, Gwen, and Sarah told me so, and you can't believe us. And that brings me to my amazing co-hosts. Well, straight from Munich, Germany, we have Gwen Flamberg.
That's right. I'm just spreading the beauty gospel around the world. Hi, guys.
And straight from New Jersey, oh no, Florida, it's baby woman Sarah here. No, she's back in Jersey. She's back in Jersey.
She's back in Jersey. She's with her roots, ready to, stir the pot like a Jersey girl does.
Great. To go pray to the idol of Teresa Giudice's wedding hair, which I'm sure is in the middle of the state somewhere. Happy for them for, honoring hometown heroes. Well, we have so many hot hookups, it was easy to pick gossip stories this week. Let's leave it at that. There was a lot of fun celebrity news. But before we jump into that, let us start with our woes of the week. All the way from Europe, Gwen Flamberg, what made you go whoa this week?
Guys, I'm still going whoa over this whole Balenciaga child BDSM pornography business. Let's just recap what has happened a little bit. So Balenciaga's holiday campaign featured small children with vacant looks in their eyes holding teddy bears dressed in bondage clothes. There was also part of a campaign that had a handbag on a desk with some papers, like sort of legal papers. And if one zoomed in, which of course we live in the age of the interwebs, if one zoomed in, they could see that there was a passage in one of these papers that related back to a Supreme Court case about child pornography. So everyone noticed all of this. Everyone has been up in arms. What has been really insane is that instead of taking accountability, Balenciaga passed the buck and they blamed their production agency via a $25 million lawsuit. Now, let's just discuss. When there is a campaign like this, for any ginormous global brand, especially a major fashion house, there is no way at all that someone at the brand is not signing off on images, on the campaign, creative direction. So this in and of itself is insanity. But what I am also just really sort of still going whoa about is that Kim Kardashian, who does have a long-standing relationship with the brand, we see her wearing Balenciaga for the past year or more, released a statement saying that she was going to look into this. She is deeply disturbed, obviously. She is a mother of four, and she's going to look into everything behind this story, allegedly before she makes her decision about whether or not she's going to sever her relationship with the brand. Now, okay. This is big money. This is kind of akin to Adidas with Kanye West. There are a lot of legal hoops that you've got to jump through before you can terminate what is likely a 7-figure contract. However, I still think that the statement could have been a bit stronger. I'm just flummoxed by the whole thing. Tons of celebrities are speaking out about this campaign, about everything going on around this campaign flub by the brand, by the celebrities associated with it. And if you don't know what's happening, go to usmagazine.com/stylish, because of course we have the whole story, the story as it continues to unfold. And of course, what every celebrity has to say about what is going on with this Balenciaga drama. So check it out, guys.
It is so messed up, and there's all those satanic pictures behind them. It's not only child porn cases and child and BDSM, but it's satanic. It's just uncute. Sarah, I hope yours does not involve child bondage, but we'll have to wait and see.
No, that story is so confusing and horrific, and just cut your ties, Kim. It's not that hard.
Well, there's only $1 million.
She can get some other $1 million. Not that hard. Anyway, my woe is straight from the morning show. The morning show being Good Morning America. It's not the fact that there's a segment called GMA 3 that airs at 1 p.m. because I personally didn't know that, because that did make me go, whoa. But I learned that information because Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, who are Good Morning America, ABC News anchors. Amy also co-hosts 2020. And TJ kind of pops up when they need him. And they both work on GMA 3, which is the third hour of Good Morning America that somehow airs in the afternoon. And the two of them have been caught getting cozy all over New York City amid marriages to other people. This hit me hard because I am a Melrose Place girly. I love me some Andrew Shue. I am very upset for him that his wife, Amy, is now dating, potentially had an affair with her co-anchor, TJ. There's some conflicting reports about, when this all started going down. The most incriminating photos are from this past November. Daily Mail has a whole collection of wild pictures. TJ, with his hand on Amy's butt as she packs up the car after an alleged getaway together. They're laughing in New York City. They're going in between each other's apartments, holding hands in the car. Incriminating photos. So seemingly 100%, hooking up. It's just a matter of when this all went down. As of July, Amy was still posting photos with Andrew. They were in Greece together. She has since deactivated her Instagram, as has TJ, who is also married to an attorney who he has a daughter with, and he has 2 older kids with his first wife. And Amy and Andrew do not have kids together, but were described themselves as a Brady Bunch situation. She had daughters, he had sons. They were each other's second chances at love. They got married in 2010. And, it's juicy, but it's also sad because it's potentially an alleged affair. And, other outlets are saying that this has been going on since March when they were training for the marathon together. Hard to believe training for a marathon is what, would push you to an affair. We did have a source that said these work trips that they go on has brought them closer together. They've been doing this third hour of GMA since around 2020 when they stopped doing the critically acclaimed Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki. And by critics, I mean me. And I think they should give Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki their hour back in light of these allegations. Great hour. We stand Kiki in this house. But yeah, some messy stuff. And yeah, our source said that they're working together on these work trips. They were in London together doing the Jubilee. I think something for the Olympics that, brought them closer together. So a little scandal at GMA.
They also work together every single day. And this all sort of went down during the pandemic when I think people were experiencing a lot of unique stress at home. So, I think it's really, really interesting, but it's kind of gosh, Andrew Shue is such a heartthrob.
I know.
Kind of sad.
He's aged so well.
Yeah.
Kicked to the curb.
It is wild when you're on GMA 3, which also made me go, whoa, that they have an afternoon, Good Afternoon America, that you're a news reporter and then you're the news and you're hi, first up, my affair.
It's kind of iconic.
It is.
It's also funny because whenever this stuff happens, of course, they deleted their Instagrams, but not quick enough because everyone is finding all of these old posts, including, she called him the best partner ever. She was always posting all these pictures of him and slideshows of GMA, but always him front and center. And he had a post from his 10-year anniversary with his wife, joking, I give her all these reasons to leave me, whatever. And he also had this long tribute about how she makes him a better man. And one of the things he said is he says the N-word less. It was a very weird tribute. And then she also had, Andrew Shue he is not very active on Instagram, but he did have photos with Amy in them up. And I was stalking him yesterday, obviously, and he has since removed all traces of Amy's from his profile. So he, Billy Campbell is making his statement without making one by deleting Amy from his Instagram, like a true, social media person should do in 2022.
That's right.
Still drama at Melrose Place. Love to see it still happening, burning as hot as it did since the 90s.
Yep.
Well, my woe this week was just one line. When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear this story from us? Said Meghan Markle on the new teaser trailer for her and Prince Harry's Netflix docuseries, The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It will be.
It's called Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Just Harry and Meghan.
Oh, that's a mess. All right. Well, the new document, it's coming out on the 8th, right?
That's the rumor, but Netflix like refuses to confirm it. But like a bunch of royal reporters and everyone has tweeted December 8th. So I assume we're a week away.
Great. Well, December 8th, and Megan's line, just the dramatic way of reading it made me go, whoa, they shared a lot of really, really adorable photos. Those photo booth pictures, they look so cute. But what really made me go, whoa, about all of this is Harry, with Prince William and Kate just touched down in Boston. They did for the Earshot Awards prize, and they it like just touched down in the US, their first time since like 2008 or 2011. It's been a really, really, really long time. And then Harry and Meghan dropped this trailer the second they hit the soil. And it really seemed like they're grabbing the attention from them. It was just sort of really, really strange timing that William and Kate are now in the United States where Meghan and Harry are. They're not together. They drop a trailer. It sort of feels like
totally intentional.
Absolutely intentional, and a second Revolutionary War, I would go as far as to say.
Oh. Now, I will say that
Boston Tea Party Part 2.
Yeah, let's go.
The photos in the trailer, the video, like everything in the trailer, it feels so relatable. Like it feels so relatable of a couple who's just like falling in love and so happy together and they really love each other so much and it's them against the world and blah, blah, blah. And it like, I really felt it. But then, of course, I used my brain and I remembered that this was something that has, I mean, it's just like anybody else that you see on social media. So this is not exactly social media, but it's the way we live now, right? Like you're telling your own story. You are, you know, totally creating and controlling your own narrative. Thou doth protest just a bit too much. And it's just, I mean, again, do we need to do this now? And how much are you getting paid for it? It's just
a lot.
Kinds of gross.
I have a lot of thoughts. I'm also like low-key split because I haven't been the nicest about Harry and Meghan over the years, as anyone who has ever listened to this podcast knows. I will say the photos are so cute. I was loving the pics. I also love seeing the pictures because it's something new. I also thought it looked pretty good, which I was excited about because I was a little worried it was going to be boring and about charity, which like I just don't need in my life. But I knew I was going to have to watch this for work. So I do want the tea. And the trailer like got me excited. It was a minute and I watched it 3 times. Like I am sucked into this program already, which like shocker. But I do think it would have, served us better like a year ago. I also think that if they just never did that CBS interview, this would be more exciting. Like I feel like we got the variety cover story, like we got the podcast, like we get a lot of Harry and Meghan now that this is like being pegged as this big thing. And it's like, I feel like we know most of it. Like, of course I'm going to eat it all up. I can't wait. Even though I like think it's kind of wrong in the back of my mind. I love gossip, so I can't help it. But I also just feel like it would have packed such a bigger punch if they really hadn't done anything yet. And I also think that, like the book coming out soon makes it like cheaper too. Cause it's like, well, what's going to be in the book then? Like, which is coming out a month later. Like, why are we doing all of this now?
Right.
And I think it would have made a little more sense if, when they initially walked away, they were like, we want to do things our way, tell our story, not say we want to live a quiet life. Cause that just wasn't true.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also likes the photos. It does look sort of interesting. I don't really know what they'll be covering in this. There's photos from all the way back to 2018. So I don't know if this is going to be them sort of looking back.
I think 2016. I bet the photo booth pics are from like them dating incognito because Harry's wearing sunglasses.
Oh.
Also, the other thing I want to point out that I thought was the most interesting and gave me a little bit of chills is like the only part that was like, besides like their quotes that they gave, that was like kind of somber and like whatever, was the black and white picture of Will and Kate and Harry and Meghan at the Commonwealth Day in 2020 when they like ignored each other. And that was the only picture or image that wasn't Harry and Meghan. So that was clearly pointed. And it was black and white and like that gave me chills. Grim AF. Like like our Will and Kate sitting in their Boston hotel room. Like, I can't believe they included us in the trailer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Welcome
it's so
stateside.
Ugly. Like that's the thing that I just think like it's like, when I watched the trailer, the first thought that struck me was like, this is the ultimate reality show. And I think that's like Meghan has gotten her wish. It's like it's the ultimate reality show. And it's just kind of like, I don't need that in my royals. I would prefer to like keep the grandeur of Harry and Meghan's wedding day. That was so beautiful and so also very heartfelt and warm. And like, show me anybody who's married for a couple years who isn't in conflict with their in-laws' families. Like, it is what it is. But like, they don't need to air it. And I don't know, it just still upsets me that like the last year of the Queen's life was riddled with this negativity.
Well, we can't wait to watch it play out and report it here on the Hot Hollywood podcast. Well, until that first episode drops, reportedly December 8th, probably December 8th, let us get into some of the news this week. We are going to open it up with the question that I have been getting most from my friends, family, strangers on the street. What is going on with Emily Ratajkowski and Pete Davidson? Well, Us Weekly told you a couple months ago that they were set up by mutual friends. Those mutual friends put them in touch and they were texting together for a while. That was about 2 months ago that we reported this. And of course, they couldn't just have a red carpet debut. They're cool kids. So they had a courtside debut at a Knicks game last week. And we have insider info on their relationship. They have a quote, fun romance, which, sounds fun. The source says Emily and Pete dig each other. They find the vibe they have very easy and free flowing. When it comes to building the relationship, the source explains there's just a chance to cut loose and see where it leads. The source also said that Pete has found his intellectual match in Emily and really just says that they're doing great. They like each other. And anybody who follows celebrity gossip, we could see this coming a mile away. As soon as we heard source rumblings that Pete and Emily Ratajkowski were put in touch, I was like, this works. This works. I believe it. I really do ship a little bit. And like, I don't know. I think they're good together. What do you guys think?
I'm super into it. I ship hardcore. I don't know that it's going to last forever, but I really dig it for right now. And I hope they're having a lot of fun. They seem to be.
It's absurd, but it makes sense. I do need to see maybe some photos that don't look quite as, I don't think it's staged because I believe our sources, but like the photo of them hugging from a couple weeks ago was like weird. And then even the courtside pictures, like, I don't know. They were like staring at each other.
I wouldn't say staged,
right.
But again, I'd say thou
performative.
Performative.
Yeah, performative. Thou doth protest too much. It's like, you can't just like, when you start dating someone, you kind of ease into it. They're not
right. But the best part about like Kim and Pete was like the picture on the ride, like the hay ride or whatever, like that seemed like really real. And then like Kim obviously has a social media, whatever, posted pictures of him. We never really saw Pete like that. Like I need Emrata to maybe like make Pete do a TikTok.
Oh, that would be fun, but I bet he would do it.
Yeah. She's like a big TikTok girl.
Yeah.
I feel that he's already designing the engagement ring a la Ariana Grande. There's something about them just meshes so well for me. They're both sex symbols. They're both sort of like cool, young, trendy people. I don't know. I just see them meshing really, really well
I'm
together.
imagining when he was single, reached out to like her people and was like, or, found someone, mutual friend to get Emrata's number and just sent her like the clip to the late night show where she was like, I get why Pete's hot. He's got BDE. He's funny. Like when she was still married and like talking about him. And that's how they opened the conversation. That's what happened in my head.
I just think they're both kind of like, they're both low key, She's low key.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like,
high key, low key.
I wouldn't call her low key. We've all seen her naked.
Of low key. She lives, in LA. She lives in a loft downtown, like in the city. She lived like right in my neighborhood. She wasn't in like, and not in the grandest building.
Doesn't she still live in New York or no?
Well, she does, but she lives like, the apartment that they lived in together that she moved out of is what I'm talking about. I don't know exactly where she's posted up to now, but like, the building that she lived in, it wasn't like the building where the fanciest people live in, or like, it's not the building where Jay-Z and Beyonce live. It's not the building that The Weeknd lives in. It's not the building.
So you're saying she's poor?
Not poor. She's just sort of normal.
So you're saying she's dating Pete for the money?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I think they're both equally kind of like, we're famous, but we don't need to be like Kardashian famous. I do. I think they're both kind of like, they're low key.
Well, I can't wait to see how this goes out. I agree, Sarah. I need some like more BTS that we haven't seen. Smiling Pictures courtside are just not gonna do it for me.
We need a little more.
Yeah, but they've both just gone through huge breakups, so this seems much easier than the partners they had before. Screw you, Sebastian McLeod, and screw you, Kanye West, which brings us to our next story. Kim and Kanye have finalized their divorce officially, with them coming to an agreement about child custody, property, all of that kind of stuff. Us Weekly can confirm that Kanye West will be required to give Kim Kardashian $200,000 a month in child support. He will also be responsible for half the children's medical, educational, and security expenses. And the pair also agrees to settle disputes regarding the children by participating in mediation. However, if either party fails to take part, the other is allowed to make a decision on their behalf. The couple's assets, including the property, will be divided based upon the prenup. Now, Kim filed for divorce from Kanye in February 2021 after nearly 7 years of marriage. Months later, she requested to be declared legally single. She also asked to separate issues of child custody and property from her male status, or from her name status, which I don't understand, but everything is fixed now. $200,000 a month sounds about right. I mean, I know he just lost millions and millions and millions of dollars, so maybe they'll have to amend that in a couple months.
Actively losing money as he spews his hate speech and ridiculousness. So tough break, but he does need to be held accountable. He openly admitted that Kim has the kids 80% of the time. So that number makes sense to me with how much money we're dealing with here. They both waived spousal support because they both have plenty of their own money, but this is for the kids. They live a ridiculous lifestyle. And in Hollywood world, sometimes showing up is with the money. And I'm happy for Kim because I'm sure this is a weight lifted, that this is finally done. And there are laws in place, legal document that if Kanye does this, they have to, talk about it in therapy. If he goes rogue and doesn't show up, she gets to make the decision. And that is something that she needs based on the behavior we've seen. So I'm happy for Kim for this one. This is a major win.
And he's also running for president in 2024, which sounds expensive. I mean, it's just messy.
Hasn't he done that already and failed greatly? Come on, dude.
Gwen, I think he got 0.07 of the vote in one state. So,
more than we got.
More than we got. But I'm glad she's finally done with him, that she has control over it. It must be a rough ride for Kim Kardashian, just watching him just get worse and worse into this hate speech, because that is really not her vibe.
Not her vibe.
Did you see everyone tweet, she tweeted, what do you want to see on season 3 of the Kardashians? And everyone was like, I don't know what's really happening, because season 2 was the biggest disappointment. I was going to say of my life, which sounds dramatic, but of the biggest disappointment I had in a long time. Because season 1 was so good and season 2 was such trash. So season 3 better have some of this.
Screw you, season 2. Well, let's move on to another sad couple. Sarah, why don't you tell us about Todd and Julie Chrisley and what is going on with them? It just didn't work out the way they wanted to.
No,
Ugly.
Prison's not great from what I've heard. But Todd and Julie, in case you missed it, who were indicted back in 2019 on fraud charges, were sentenced earlier this month. Todd got 12 years. Julie got 7. They both got 16 months of probation when they complete however long they serve of their time. And, obviously a bunch of fines and all that jazz. They have broken their silence on the sentencing by turning to the Lord, as these two like to do. Julie read a quote by author Priscilla Schreier on her podcast, Chrisley Confessions, on November 30th. Age is just a number. And since we don't know our death date, we have to live every day as if it's our last. Todd echoed the statements and said, yesterday doesn't matter. Today is what we have. Tomorrow belongs to God because we are not promised tomorrow. When God calls on us, though, he will walk us through. So I think, these two are certainly leaning on their faith as they prepare to serve time in prison. Their daughter, Savannah, who is taking over custody of their 16-year-old son, Grayson, and the niece that they adopted from one of Todd's oldest sons. Yeah. Yes, who they refer to as their daughter. And Savannah got very offended that people get mad that she says sister because it's her, she's the aunt, or she's the niece to Savannah, granddaughter to Todd and Julie. Right. Todd and Julie have adopted her, whatever. The youngest one, who is technically Todd's oldest kid, is going to be in Savannah's care along with 16-year-old Grayson. Chrisley, there's also Chase, who's the one who has the show with Savannah. But I just wanted to read this quote that Savannah gave because it was quite wild. Why do we continue to fail people? It tears families apart. Look at everything that we're going through. How is that just? It's just not when you've got rapists and murderers and traffickers and all these people out there. And what? They just get a slap on the wrist. It all goes down to us being in the public eye and someone wanting to prove a point. And it's honestly sad. At this point, I feel like for me, I've become numb to it, but that numbness has turned into anger to where I'm just not giving up. There's no other option. Like your parents committed a crime. And I'm pretty sure like the traffickers and rapists, like most of them are getting off the murderers. How many murderers are getting off the slap of the wrist? I don't think that many. Hopefully not. I don't know.
Hopefully not. This also was sort of like a predecessor for me for Jen Shah's upcoming sentencing, which
Delayed
is going to be very
again.
delayed again. She's been delayed so many times. This is supposed to happen last July. The trial was supposed to start. And now
Trial was supposed to be July. The sentencing was supposed to be November 20 something. Then it was December 15th, and now it's January 6th, which, you know, the irony's not lost on anyone there.
Not lost on me. But it seems like it's really bad for Jen Shah. Their cases are sort of similar, except what Jen did was sort of worse a little bit, just from an outside perspective, from our legal expert, baby woman Sarah Huron, telling me. So I'm a little worried for Jen Shah, but Todd Chrisley, I don't really feel bad for. He's so creepy. He's made me personally feel uncomfortable a lot of times in the past. So, sorry, but you did it. Well, let's go on to a happy couple, shall we? Let's talk about Benjamin, Bennifer 2.0, Miss Jennifer Lopez Affleck. She opened up about a lot in a new interview with Apple Music, who really has to do the most because Spotify Wraps are all over the place. She had a really candid conversation, and Jennifer admitted that she spiraled for 18 years after her and Ben's 2004 split, which she called, quote, the biggest heartbreak of her life. She went on to say that she felt like she was going to die following her relationship breakdown and recalled struggling to perform the, quote, painful songs that reminded her of their romance. They called off their wedding 20 years ago. Oh, she said, what Jennifer said, we once called off that wedding 20 years ago. It was the biggest heartbreak of my life. I honestly felt like I was going to die. It sent me on a spiral for the next 18 years where I just couldn't get it right. But now 20 years later, it does have a happy ending. It has the would never happen in Hollywood ending. Would never happen. We're not going to write that because nobody would even believe that ending. Jennifer also reflected on her 2002 album, This Is Me Then, which she initially recorded to capture her and Ben's love. But Ben was actually among the people who noticed that she had quietly shelved tracks about their breakup, and he confronted her about it 17 years later. Jennifer said, it's funny because when Ben and I got back together, he says, you never performed these songs. You never did. I'm glad. You never did this. You never did that. And I was like, you're right. It was painful. It was the part of me that I had to put away and move on to survive. But now she is paying homage to that album by announcing a new one that is set for release next year called This Is Me Now. That record will chronicle the past 2 decades of her life, including her reunion with Ben. And she is keen to share with fans that, quote, love still exists. This was an adorable reading, and it really made me love their relationship and just love in general a lot reading this. Happiness for J-Lo.
Sure. I love an Easter egg album decoding of lyrics. So I think that'll be fun when the album's out. I always, these two will always have a little asterisk for me because of the way specifically J-Lo speaks about it. Like the last 20 years of her life was a mistake when like she had kids, and I know she like loves her kids or whatever, but like, I don't know. I feel like Jennifer Garner really did the work to get Ben to be the guy he is. So I don't love that they acted like, this fate thing. Like it's cute, except for when you think about like all the like
other people.
Yeah. Like I don't want to say collateral damage because they're not, I know they love their kids and it's fine that they're back together. But I just feel like sometimes she specifically speaks about it in a way where it's like, really? Like you were fine.
Oh. How about also like you want a remake of Gigli? You want to know?
Oh, God.
Yeah, like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Leave that in the past. Nobody needs it. And if that is a metaphor for like your first relationship was as bad as the original Gigli, stop talking about it.
Also,
like you've improved now, and so you're going to improve on Gigli. Okay, let's just keep your relationship out of the movies.
And you broke up the first time allegedly due to, quote, excessive media attention. And now all she does is talk about her relationship.
These people who they're narcissists. It's like old Megs. Like, if you really just want to live a quiet life and you don't want the media attention, stop asking for the media attention. It's that simple.
I was just a little upset because that original album, the This Is Me Then, it was really bad and didn't have any good songs. And like, I'm glad it was terrible. I'm glad she didn't perform that. So I'm a little nervous about this one. It's just that album just stopped. JLo just didn't seem like she was having any fun. She did all of these pop dance Latin tracks and then sort of like a sad, somber album. So I'm not excited about the somber album, but I love this, like these quotes about her and the fact that she came to life in her album from 17 years ago and looks better now. I mean, that's what JLo's really, really good at. So I love to see it.
Agree.
Well, love is also dead for Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. Us Weekly can confirm that after a quote tricky situation, they have split. They're taking a break. Sources are sort of all over the place with what's going on. It's sort of like when a housewife says she's on pause versus fire. But this seems like a total breakup, and it seems that the public obsession with her life, the nanny that came out, the salad dressing epidemic, Jason throwing himself under the tire of a car everywhere sort of led to this breakup, and it was too much for them. I feel sad for Olivia. I feel sad for Harry. What did you guys think about when you found out that Harry and Olivia are on pause, split, break, whatever you want to call it?
I was just kind of like, thank God that pin has been put into this relationship, because for so long it was like, what is going on? Remember back from the press tour of Don't Worry, Darling, when there was so much drama around their relationship, what happened behind the scenes, then why are they not next to each other? Is he not going to acknowledge her on the carpet? Then we heard they were on a break. So, okay, you know what? Now we know it's over. It's at least over for now. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, not surprised. Was waiting for this. He's like on leg a million of his tour. She's got the kids. She can dance in Harry's house all she wants. I don't think this was a realistic long-term relationship. So it was fun while it lasted for everyone involved, I think, except for Jason Sudeikis.
Everyone but Jason Sudeikis did really benefit, including all of us for this.
All of us. And how about Flo? Florence Pugh continuing to have her star rise. Thanks.
The talk of the town.
She really is the talk of the town. And I still haven't seen Don't Worry, Darling, I don't think. Or I
just watched it. Save yourself.
I saw it in the theater.
It's beautiful to watch. And I found it sort of intriguing. Like it actually
enough.
It all made sense to me.
Yeah.
And like, I don't agree with like how dramatically it fell apart. Everybody's saying that. I don't agree with that. But I don't think it's exactly original. It's just kind of great to look at.
It's totally watchable though. Like if you're looking for like it was watchable, and it's like good to talk about after. Like it's one of those movies where you spend a couple minutes, but like you're not like you don't ever need to see it again. Like it's not like changes your life, but it's a solid 2 hours. I liked seeing it in theaters because there were a few times when the crowd just like erupted in laughter when Harry Styles was trying to act seriously. So I love Harry Styles. He was in my Spotify top 5, but that was still funny.
He was my Spotify top. But, I don't know. I saw it in my home, but in the theater, like the cunnilingus scene would have been really big. And there are a few of them. So, I mean, if they ever do replay it in the theater, maybe I'd go just for the dirty parts.
I don't think they will, because Totally Watchable is just a great review. Thank you both. Totally
It goes on the screen back in theaters because it's, quote, totally watchable. Us Weekly.
Feel free to take it for your marquee. To Olivia Wilde, we'll break you off a little bone. Well, thank you to my hosts, Harry and Olivia. Sorry, to Sarah and Gwen for helping me spill this piping hot celebrity this week. Again, this is Travis Corona, Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast with your weekly peek into the glamour, glitter, fashion, and favorite celebrities. So after all, guys, celebrities, they're just like us with more money and access. All right, thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week with more stories. We'll see you then.
Bye.